Well, hello everyone. Thank you for stopping in. I have a good friend Johnny up here with me. And did it start? Did it start on the YouTube side? Yeah, it started on the StreamYard side. Here goes the YouTube side now.
There we go.
Um, it's a little bit behind. I hope all of you guys are having a fantastic day. This is our regular Camp Challenge Alliance talk day. And we're going to hang out, have a little chat about the stuff that we've got going on, things that we have coming up. The panel is not open yet, but it will be later on. So, right now, we're just a couple of guys up hanging out talking about camping.
There we go. Which is a good thing. It's a fun thing. I tell you, it was nice on Dave's the other day. We had, what was it? Was it Ben? I think it was. He'd done a through hiking the AT and just they're talking about hiking, and it's just nice just talking about that. So today, I don't know if you were watching. I saw one. Oh, is it Really Big Monkey? Dave Pearson from Georgia. He did a video on water where he was trying to use aluminum foil to boil water, and I was
That's
like,
tricky.
yeah, and
That's tricky.
I was like, oh, wait a minute, water. That's our May challenge coming up
Yep.
there. And I remembered I watched somebody else dig a hole, and they lined the hole with the aluminum foil, and then they threw in hot rocks in there to boil their water.
Yep.
Yeah, which I thought you might get more bang for your buck that way, but I don't think that's the direction I'm going to take my videos though, because you know me.
Not for me, no, not for my water challenge. So, we got a few people in the room here now. We got All Terrain Coffee and Camping, Homestead in the Wood with D, Rebecca Touched by Yarn.
Hey,
BC Gerbs just popped in.
hey, Gerbs.
I think that's it at the moment. It's showing 6, so if you're not typing and you're just lurking, thank you for showing up. Oh, showing 7 now. Really appreciate everybody. But yeah, our current ongoing one right now is our fire one. Now I integrated that into one of my regular videos. My water one, my kitchen cook, is not in no way, shape, or form going to be integrated into my next one. And I love that little short that you did.
Oh,
that was hilarious. I just had a chance to watch it today.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, he's jumping, splash.
I was at my in-laws last night editing that thing, and we were just rolling. I just finished taping it, the last part of it, so I've got a bit of finishing that up. That was actually not even the Catch and Cook April one. That one's more of an April Fool's thing that I'm releasing tomorrow.
Oh, nice!
And then I did.
It's hilarious, though.
And then I did meet with my father-in-law and my nieces, and I did record my Catch and Cook video. It's similar but different than last year's for what I did for Easter. But it had more. Since these are relatives, I can actually have the kids on the video. So nice. Johnny's got a lot of editing right now, but it's fun. So a lot of fun. Yeah, I had these kids convinced my deadfall trap really took out something. You can hear them. No.
Wait till I does mine.
Oh, I'm curious what you're going to do.
Wait till I does mine. I haven't let out no secrets about it at all.
No, hey, I think you're probably going to use the net, aren't you? Maybe somewhere or another. Maybe not. We don't know what
I don't know. The great I still got to use my net for something.
That's right. I did manage to break my net out on this video.
Oh, so, nice.
Yeah, so that had my wife rolling on there. So, guys, if you hadn't figured it out, these challenges, while you can be as serious as you want, you can also be as goofy as you want. There's no right or wrong. I mean, it's be creative and have fun out there. I saw one dude. He's not doing the challenge, but he's doing the spirit of it. He went out to do fishing, and he didn't catch anything. So he brought some fish fillets, and he dredged them up, and he fried them up, beautiful brown. And he sat down in the creek, on a stump, and the plate tipped, and down went his fish right into the water. I'm like, I would have done that. That's me.
That sounds like a me thing.
That's right. Hey,
Do you
Dad.
know on my live, Wednesday live, when I was cooking, remember I was making the cup of coffee?
Mm-hmm.
That was my second cup of coffee. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I almost did?
Mm-hmm.
I almost dumped a pot of water out in the fire again.
Yeah.
I just caught it. Just caught it. It was tipping, and I was like, I was like, and I sat down and I just looked at the camera and I went, because the camera wasn't watching it, right?
Right, right, right. Yeah, it's our lives are so much of almost. Would you get your nose out of my milk, guys? If you aren't don't know what's going on, I got my sugar bear, my three-legged cat, and she is just insisting to check it out my milk and cookies and everything. I was
I
gone
said,
all.
"Where's mine?
I know, right?
What's
So,
mine?"
oh man, two guys and their cats, two bearded guys and their cats.
Yeah, Doris is not here at the
Well, don't
moment. She's
fall.
sleeping.
She almost fell off the desk. So where's Doris?
She's sleeping. She's downstairs sleeping at the moment. She had a big day when I bring home a whole bunch of stuff. You know how it is with cats. When they see a bunch of new stuff coming in the
Mm-hmm.
house, they have a blast.
Mm-hmm.
So she was down playing with a lot of stuff, and she tired herself out, so she went up and laid down.
Nice. Yeah, my daughter, you know how on some packages it's got the little zip tie straps around there, the
Mm-hmm.
heavy duty ones. She found it, she snips it, throws it on the floor. Her cat just loves it.
Loves them. Yeah.
Yeah, running around the house all over the place with them.
Doris likes the twist ties.
Yeah.
She loves twist ties.
Mm.
Hey, Peter.
Hey, Pete. What's going on?
Hey, Des. Thanks for stopping in. So I've come to a little bit of reasoning with our Alliance Day like this. I want to try to keep them at the 2 hour mark.
Okay.
Not because I'm constrained on hours or anything like that, but I would like to try and keep them at the 2 hour mark so we don't get too involved in
I agree.
future challenges. And I had this thought because I know this is something you really wanted to get into because we've already set well, March is fire, April is the cooking cage, May is going to be water, January or June will be show us a spot,
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
July will do the navigation.
Okay. Guess what? I'm trying to sign up for right now.
What's
A, na-
that?
a navigation class in Ohio.
Really nice,
Yeah, it's like the
nice.
I'd kind of written it off for the year,
Hey
and
Jen,
then the instructor Dave Canterbury, he just posted he was putting out the tags for the class, and I was like, I've been wanting to do that thing because it's a nice setup. He's got enough woods where you really are challenged, and I was like, you know what? I had the time off, so I put in the requested time. We'll see if it gets approved. I'm confident I will, and my wife can't really argue with me spending just a little bit of money when she's spending thousands on everything else. So hopefully I'll be at a nav class in May. So
nice.
hey Jason.
That's gonna be fun.
Yes. So
Yeah, Gerbs,
anybody else there want to go join me? I could use a partner.
I'd love to. I'd love to be able to get down and go and do some of those things. See, there's very limited stuff like that here we're on too. Hey,
Hmm,
want the flock? Um, yeah, it's very limited things on what to do here where I'm at.
right.
There's some survivals, small survival skills stuff and things like that. But I literally got to drive 4 or 5 hours to get there.
Yeah, that's a
Right?
haul.
It's crazy.
You're talking 3 day commitment. I mean, really,
Yeah,
really.
yeah. I mean, like for some of them, I actually would have to drive to the other side of the island, which is 8 hours away,
Woo.
to go to Grossmorn because that's where the biggest national park is, and that's the ones that do all this,
Mm,
the survival skills that I would need to learn.
yeah.
That's where they do it. So
Wow.
it's a long ways away.
It is.
Um, hey Chris, um, but in saying that, it's not out of the realm of one of these days I might just head
Yep.
on over to the other side of the island and say, I'm here for the weekend.
Yep.
What can I do? Right?
Yeah,
But
no, I get you. I've got. I'm hoping later this year I either go to Colorado or Western Nebraska, but kind of get out there in the mountain. If I can work it up, Mark Kratz is talking about meeting me in Colorado, and
nice.
and then one point I was talking about with General Patton, Steve Patton. He's um, maybe meeting him now. He's going to California, so I don't know if he's going to be available or not. So I'll have to double check. But
Mark could be a good one to get in touch with, I would imagine, for anything like that, considering the background that he has.
oh, you know it, you know it.
Right? He has so many life skills in his
Mhm.
background that it's not even funny.
Yeah, I called him the other day. We were visiting, and I mean, I could tell. Just I want to spend the night by the campfire, just hearing all these stories. And he was telling me, yeah, he's done a little bit of escort duty here and there. So I'm like, he has not lived a boring life for sure. So, which how does that relate to Camp Challenge Alliance, guys? It's about these challenges are about really getting you thinking about getting outdoors, doing what you can when you can. If it's local, then you do local. But when you can make a big trip, you make it happen. But the
Yep.
stuff you learn in your backyard is the same stuff you're going to take out with you.
Yep.
So, yeah, so
That was the whole premise behind my backstab.
yes,
Just to get out there and practice some of the skills, and especially like fire making and stuff like that. It's such a when you think about it, it's a simple skill and a basic skill, but there's so many different ways to go about it, and if you if you don't practice them, you're not going to be able to use them when you're out in the wild.
exactly.
And it's the same thing with your gear. If you're sitting around in your house, and I mean, like using my home and my little stove and that, with making my coffee and stuff. Yeah, it's nice to know. Okay, any given time, I can light that up and
Right.
make a hot meal. Or
I
um,
found, yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
Johnny's getting very excited over the camp challenge.
Yes, Jason. Yes, I'm just hopping in my seats here. Has nothing to do with a falling cat. Oh man. Yeah, yeah, like fire, such a fundamental thing. I mean, but it's cooking. Yeah, it's like I'm with you. A lot of times I like to make coffee with my gear or whatever else. I was like, you
Mm,
get familiar with it. Take it in and out of your package. It's like where you store it, and that's a big thing. Getting out
yeah,
your system. Where do you put these things? And I remember early on trying to nicely pack everything in a specific location, but to get as much as possible. It turns out, well, then you can never find it.
yeah.
That's a
You get
life.
it in there all nice, and then when you get down into the middle of the woods,
Yeah.
you're not trying to put it back nice and neat. You're just trying to stuff it in there so it
Right.
don't fit. You're
Right.
like,
Yes.
it all
Oh,
fit when I came down. What's wrong?
well, I don't have the floor to
Mhm.
put it up neat and tight and everything. Oh man. So yeah,
Well,
go ahead.
no, go ahead. You
I
go
just
ahead.
so say canvas bags and all kinds of little pouches and containers for here's my fire kit, here's my tarp goes. All that they all got a home now.
Nice. I'm still working on that a bit. My backpack is usually a mess
Sure.
inside. It's like who put a hand grenade in your backpack? Well, um, but one of the things that I tend to do is when I get in a location that I'm going to be at, I'll haul everything out of my bag,
Yes. Totally.
and then I got access to everything.
Yes. Totally.
Um, and my next set of throwback videos is my one of my bigger camp builds that I've ever
Hmm.
done and filmed. It probably is the biggest camp build that I've done and filmed. But this one, I'm tried to make like an outpost type thing where I could go down and there's a couple of beds and there's lots of wood, and I can go in. It's fully covered.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. And there was one day I actually went down and I was drenched from
From
head to
sweat.
toe.
From,
So my whole day down there,
yeah.
I was drying my clothes out.
Mm. Yeah, there you go.
But I didn't have to worry about anything. I didn't need to worry about wood. I didn't need to worry about this. So I could go down and sit down and relax. And so what? I had to dry my clothes out.
Sure. And that's the once you get out your way,
Mhm.
is that the phone's not going off. You don't have to do chores. It's like you're out there for and on. That's what I like more of the camp out. Hey, what's going on, Chris? The wow, I enjoy the hiking aspect of it. I want to stay in camp for a while because I'm like, no, I want to ease in. When I get up in the morning, as much as I love my coffee, I'm fine with just sitting by the fire for a little bit. And then eventually, when I have coffee, it's going to be a while before I even make breakfast, at 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
So I was like, no, just get out. Yeah, it's just so nice just to sit there and enjoy it. And go ahead.
No, you
That's
finish what
it.
you were saying. I was just thinking. I just had a thought where you were saying it's nice. Sometimes I don't make breakfast till 11 o'clock. And I do the opposite.
Yeah,
I'll get up in the morning and it'll be like still dark. I know the sun is coming up in about an hour.
uh,
I'll light a fire and sit back, and then I'll start making my breakfast, and I'll have my breakfast while the sun is rising, and just sit there and relax then for a few hours before I decide to. I'll slowly pack away odds and
sure.
ends as I'm going, but then I can just sit around for however long I want to before I decide. Okay, well, let's pack it in and go home.
Right.
All right, and but I mean, like, to each their own. It's there's been times where I've been camping and with other people, and it's like, oh, I don't want to cook yet. Okay, well, I'll cook when you cook. It doesn't bother me. It's
Sure.
just,
Absolutely.
that's just something that I enjoy, being able to sit back and relax and see,
Right.
just watch the sun coming up through the trees, and you know
Mhm.
that's just me.
That's oh no, I get you. I was like, what is it? What does Jen and Steve say? Yeah, breakfast is a coffee uh, and a granola bar. Second breakfast is eggs and bacon, pancakes and hash browns, and probably another cup of coffee. Absolutely. Yeah. You got me thinking about some of the little short overnighters I do when I have to get back at a certain time. That's good because it does get me to, wake up and I'm like, don't sleep too late. And then because sit there, like there's a certain areas like over and across the river over into Iowa. And I can just sit there, look over this river, watch the morning fog out there, have a cup of coffee, just take it all in. And then the critters start going back and forth. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's like nice.
I just want to clarify something, Jen. Believe it or not, I'm using the same microphone I had all along. The big thing is this headset that I got was a very good quality headset, but I was using it with old technology. So now I have it plugged into my new computer. You're actually getting to hear the microphone for what it is, because this is a gaming headset, so it's made to pick up the voices in that way better. So it works. I'm after having people tell me, a bunch of people tell me that, man, you sound so much better on that new computer, and that's why. But I haven't tried the actual microphone on this computer, although it seems to be picking up the voices in that pretty good.
Yeah,
But I'm just so used to using the headset now that I'm going to stick with that.
sure.
But thank you, Chris. Walking and rambling is it? Yep. Chris, walking and rambling. We got hunting and stuff with J&J came in. We got
1117 Peace Dragon.
1117 Peace Dragon. Thank you guys. I really appreciate all of you guys for stopping in. Mom, the four boys. Like I said, this is for now. This is all our camp talk, and that's what we're doing. And
Yeah.
yes, you see cat, but it's not mine today. But I have a new visitor in my room. I do. I got a new visitor in the room. You can't see him because he's right behind me.
I was wondering, like, Smurfette's been there for a while, I think.
No,
There,
I
oh,
got
there you go, Steggy.
I got a stego.
Oh, we love Steggies.
I saw this out there, and Nicole was looking at me. She says, "What are you buying that for?" And I said, "Because he's gonna look nice on my step."
There you go. That's right. That's right.
So
Nice.
I got a new visitor.
That's cool.
He can sit there.
Nice.
Now you can see him poking his head out a little bit. He's green, so he blends in. There was three, I think, different ones there, but he looked the best out of them.
There you go. I still remember we had my daughter used to love dinosaurs, and so she had a dinosaur encyclopedia. We had a children's dinosaur Monopoly, and when she had to give up her Stegosaurus, and she's like, "Oh, Steggy."
Yeah, no, I don't want him to go. Hey,
Oh,
DJ.
well, hey DJ, what's up, man? I'm curious to say I want to see DJ's catch and cook because
Yeah, that could be interesting.
oh yeah, so I was like it'll be exciting. So fire. What did I else say? Say TGI Friday. Bree put in a nice one. Did you see that one yet?
I've got to watch a bunch of them. I do.
That
I've
one
got to
was a
watch a bunch of
fun
them with
one.
with what I was doing with the 24-hour live, and then I had Steve's,
Yeah,
and I had donations, and then all put into that. It's just
sure,
been back to back trying to get mail out.
sure.
I put out another. I went into the post office there again today, and I sent out another bunch of packages. I've still got 10. I'm waiting on the coal sticker to come in so I can send them out. And I've
Wow.
got 2 envelopes over there for the regular post.
So you had to save up enough money just for postage just to get your stuff out.
Well, the
Yes.
thing is I I am monetized, but I don't have my pin.
Right.
So that money is all locked into the monetization thing. That's
Mm,
why I'm sending it out in little bits and pieces.
sure.
I'm not going in and saying one big dump here.
Right. Right. Right.
But
That's pretty
that
sweet.
money that I'm spending on shipping now, the money that's in there from the monetization that I got from the donations that people gave me, that covers my expenses for my shipping,
Good. That's cool.
right? And then of course I am going to need to get some more wood and
Hardwood.
hardwood. Yep.
Dude, I was doing a bow drill fire yesterday for another video, and I had to grab what was it? Because I started doing a bow drill in snow the other day, and that didn't work out so well. I mean, I could have got it if I would have moved and counted for the wind, but I was like, nope, gotta cut filming, gotta run. So I grabbed the same kit, and I'm like, need a new spindle. So I grab one. I'm going down there. I'm like, tink tink, this thing's awfully hard. And I'm like, oh, this is that piece.
That one's got to go.
It's like,
See, I've got maple around the house, which is a hardwood.
yes, it is. Not,
Um,
not a
and
problem.
when I did the bow drill out on my back step, a couple of the pieces that I had bring to do it weren't the maple.
Yeah,
I got them down in the back, and I knew like you can score it with your fingernails super easy and stuff like that.
so
So it's softer wood, and
right,
that's what I used to do it because I knew okay I can do a bow drill. I know I'm not practicing it at all. I
right.
know I can do it, but I said if I try to do it with maple out on my back step, I'm going to be laughed off YouTube
Oh man, that ain't easy. Maple,
because
yeah, that's
it's a
rough.
hard wood
It
and
is.
it doesn't work all the best. And
No.
but I used it to make like I used the maple to make my bearing block,
Mm-hmm. Right.
and I used it to make my bow.
Okay.
The spindle and my hearthboard,
Yeah.
hearthboard,
Yeah.
that was wood that I got down on the back.
Okay.
I was like, I am
There
not
you go.
taking
Yeah.
no chances with it. Right?
Oh no,
And
yeah. I mean,
then
it's like it's why it's hard. It is. I mean, I might sometimes I make it look very easy. You know, like yesterday, smooth as can be. But that's because I've done a
hey,
lot.
buddy,
I've done it a lot. It is not. I mean, it's even when I make it easy, that is not as easy as taking out my lighter and going.
no, no, or
I,
taking out the ferro rod on the cotton swabs like I use, and
right,
it's lit.
right. Oh, that right there is my favorite right there. Ferro rod and Vaseline cotton balls. I mean,
Yeah,
it's so cheap and so
so
reliable.
easy. Yes,
Yeah.
and I mean, like I got. Is it there beside me? It was. Yeah, it is still there. Like I bought this, and I'm after making about I don't know 25 or 30
Mhm.
maybe, and there's
Yeah.
just a little tiny bit gone out of it
Right.
because
Oh yeah.
you only need a little tiny
Right.
bit in there.
Yeah. So I
The
mean,
only
I'm
thing
glad.
is,
Yeah.
every time I open this, it smells like baby powder.
Right.
Because I picked up the old scented one.
Sure. There you go. Yeah, I've
Um,
got a batch of that downstairs. It's always handy, yeah, I got more than enough cotton balls. Just like I let my nieces come over, and they're just one after another, just emptying my bag. I'm like, fine, loaded up with cotton, a couple of scoops of Vaseline, squishy, squishy, ready to
way to
go.
go.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think it's great when some people try to make different fire starters, with the wax and everything, because obviously once you get it lit, it burns a long time. For me, I'm simple. I'm like, it takes no time whatsoever to prep that.
Well, I got the little round pads
Yeah. Yeah.
instead of the cotton balls, and I opens one end,
Yep.
and I uses the back end of my fork,
Yep.
and I
Float
just
it up.
scoops a little bit up and puts it in there and closes it, and
Yeah.
done.
Yep.
Fire starter.
Yeah. Didn't Jamie? I thought that was interesting. He took the little pads and he put a little Vaseline on it, and then he sandwiched them, kind of like
Yep.
little Oreos and stuff.
Yeah.
I was
And
like,
then
huh.
soak them in the wax.
Yeah, yeah. I thought that was a pretty neat idea.
Yeah.
I was like, huh. I hadn't thought about it that way. But yeah, it's whatever you got to do. I mean, it's like you don't have to overcomplicate it. Just find something simple. But heat, entertainment, cooking. Um, I think that just sitting there by the fire at night or in the morning when you first having that cup of coffee, you're like, it's one way to wake up and get into the day. So, which makes this month's challenge kind of interesting. I'm like kind of curious to see what everybody's doing.
Yeah.
Uh, Breeze, you'll like. She's funny. She goes, Johnny's probably expecting me to rub sticks together. I'm like, no, that's fine.
I
But
gotta
she,
get Breeze. I don't think I got Breeze put into the folder
yeah,
yet.
yeah. But so she went heavy duty, and I love what she lit up.
Bree does some good stuff.
Yeah, if we had a hot day recently, it was because of Bree. She contributed to global warming that day.
Maybe that's why it warmed up here for a couple of days.
Maybe. Uh, but what else we got? So we got catch and cook. So that's going to be a fun one. I'll get that
Yeah.
video out right before.
After that, then we're gonna do our water one, which is water purification. What do you take for water? How much water do you take with you?
I was kind of thinking along
And
that lines, like replenishing it, doing an
yeah,
overnighter for the
mm,
the food and the drinking and putting out fires and things like that. Because when you think about how much water you really need, you know, and you can't carry it all, you know.
no, it's really hard to carry. Like people think of water as something that's it's only water. Huh. Grab a case of water, a small case, say 12 pack
Yeah,
of water, stick it on your back,
yeah,
and walk for 30 minutes uphill
right,
and tell me that that water is not heavy.
right, yeah,
There's nobody going to tell you. It doesn't matter how much hiking, camping, or anything it does. There's nobody going to tell you that that's light.
right. No,
That's just your water. That's
yeah,
not your gear. That's not anything else. That's just your water. It
right.
is heavy.
Yeah, it
Hey,
is.
Colby.
Now, how do
Uh,
you like to carry your water? Do you do it on like a web belt or do you do it in the backpack?
I usually puts it in the backpack down low because when you're packing your backpack, put your heavy stuff down low,
Right.
down around the bottom part of your back, your hips, where the belt will connect on and hold that weight.
Yep.
I usually tend to put my water, two of my canteens down in the bottom of my backpack, full of water, and then I'll take my. Can I get it? Oh, there's still water in it, sure. I'll take this one, and this is the one I'll drink on the way, and I'll clip it onto my vest.
There you go.
So I got this one to drink when I'm going back and forth, and then I shows off everybody's stickers while I'm doing it.
Yeah. That's
Um,
that's an important tip right there. Because if you
drink
only
as you're
got the stuff
going.
on the sides, and then you got to stop. You got to take your backpack off.
Yep. Have water within reach at all times.
Yeah.
Because if you got to stop and take off your backpack and then go looking through it for your water, by the time you're done looking through it, you're probably not going to want to put the backpack back on your back.
Right.
Whereas if you got water that's available to you, you can just sit. A lot of times I don't even sit. I just unclips it while I'm walking, take a couple of sips, and just keep on walking.
I should do that. I was looking at Kevin Outdoors. He's got little bungee straps where he puts them in place, little Gatorade bottles.
Mm.
And I've thought about fashioning on that, but I like that because like I just got a new water bottle and it's got the little carabiner on it. I'm like, yeah, it might dangle and bounce. I might want to get a little smaller one or something like that.
Now, there is another thing out there. I don't have it here. It's downstairs on my vest, but it's a clip that actually clips onto the neck of the bottles,
Yeah,
and it has the carabiner on it, so you can clip on a regular water bottle.
that's cool. Yeah,
Right, and that's really handy. That is because it takes all the necks of all the bottles are all the same size, so any type of water bottle you can just click it on and you're good to go.
now you just reminded me back in my way back memories, back when I first started teaching 4-H, different knots, and there's a real basic old-fashioned knot that the not the farmers, but the field workers they would do, where you start out pretty much like a pretzel configuration, and in the end, it would tighten up 2 loops around the neck of a mason jar, and you can do it on a water bottle. And then you got 2 handles, you got to carry it,
Yep.
And like that, you can clip it, or if you did one side longer, you can run it along your neck. So I thought about that, but you know how cordage cuts into your shoulder and whatnot. And there's modern day solutions.
It's the same thing if you're carrying it in your hand. If you've got any amount of weight in water, and it's going to cut into your hands.
Right.
Now there is a simple fix to that. If you're out in the woods, which you are,
bandana around it, or no?
no. If you're out in the woods, if you pick up a little stick,
Yeah.
and just notch a V notch,
Oh, sure.
and
Yeah.
put that in your hand with the rope over the top, then
Yeah.
it's a round handle. It doesn't cut your hands.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, was it Colcrack or Bushcraft? He did something like that with firewood. He took one long piece of branch, a shorter one, and he had 2 pieces of ropes on there. And when he laid it up all the wood, he took the fat one, the wider one, intertwined it between the shorter one, and then all of a sudden he just had one handle and the other handle tight and cinched up around the firewood. So
That
you know,
there's so many different ways of doing things and stuff like that you just, the more creative you are, you can come up with simple little things if you sit down and just play with it for a while.
right.
And simple little solutions for complicated problems.
Right.
Right.
Oh yeah. That's the thing. The more you get out, the more you start realizing I am going to have to find ways to tweak this. I watched a good friend. He got a haversack because they're like, hey, you can put your 5 items because they have 5 C's of survival. And so then he's walking around with it, and he's like, dang, that's kind of cutting my shoulder. I'm like, yeah, because you put it all on one side there.
Yep.
I'm all about a backpack, and I'm like, now I'll do a haversack that I'll put drape over my backpack or whatever for collecting things, and like if I need to get some kindling materials or something like that. But I'm like, I know it hurts. I'm like, I ain't doing that. So
Hey, Randy.
Hey, Randy.
Um,
I'm gonna take this thing out. I think
guys, if you see me and you come in and say hello, and you see me pop your name up there and wave, it's just because I don't want to interrupt Johnny when he's talking or anything like that. And I do that a lot of times with people. So if I don't say hey to you, just keep an eye for me waving at you.
right.
But
you get pretty good at this host thing, Al.
I've been doing it for a little while, and I want to try to be as good to everyone that comes in and watches and hangs out as they are to me to come in and sit down and watch.
Right. So
as like Jerbs was there a little while ago, and he was asking how many watch hours do I need, and I think Jason told him I was already monetized. I guess he didn't realize. But that 24-hour live that I did was thanks, Randy. That 24-hour live I did was my monetization party, and I guess he didn't realize.
That's what it was for. Yeah, that wasn't a drive to get you to monetization. That was
I was there.
Yeah, you crossed that finish line. Yeah, you're not worried about hours at all now. It's
I
probably
wasn't worried about anything with that other than trying to give back to the people that had been there supporting me through everything that I went through.
well, my subscriber count recently has been going up for some reason.
I don't know why I'd be doing that.
I
Hey,
don't
Joe.
know. It's
I
jumped.
told you I was going to help you with it. It's not going as quick as I'd like it to because I've done it quicker, but
Yeah.
I'll still work on it for you and get your name out there and get you some more people on board with you. Hey, Bud Falls.
Well, it's certainly appreciated. Not expected, but it's certainly appreciated. Getting a lot closer there. I'm like, it's jumped up 100 this last week, and
Yeah, you should be up by a little over 100, I think, are you?
I think so. Last I checked, I'm like, you know how YouTube does their thing, and so
Oh,
uh,
yeah, give them to you, take them away. Oh, yeah, yeah, you're up. You're
yeah,
up. You're up good
yeah,
now. You're up to 766 now.
yeah. So oh yeah, it's definitely a bit over 100. So
No,
it's
I'll keep working on that.
well, and I appreciate it, and
No problem.
I don't feel entitled to anything. I'm like, I'm just going to keep hanging out. Which, by the way, which is kind of what this whole Camp Challenge Alliance is about. It's having fun.
Yep.
Last night, or even yesterday, my father-in-law, he was just dying laughing because one, we're with the nieces, and then we're piecing together the little video I'm doing tomorrow. And I'm like telling him, I said, I'm not expecting this video to be my breakthrough where we're going to get tons of views. It's just about having a blast. I mean, just the making of it and sharing it. I mean, it's like that's the reward right there,
Yeah,
and making some memories. So that's everybody as we do the even though we have the word challenge, it's not.
yeah, it's not
It
a
doesn't have to be
challenge.
challenging. The only challenge is
It's the
how creative.
fun way.
Yeah. uh,
But
Camp
what do you think?
Alliance.
Shall we open up the panel?
I say let's go for it. I think so.
I don't think I think Tony is on the road and he's not
Yeah.
going to be able to. I don't think he's going to be able to make it.
Mm. Well, I was lucky to make it myself. I was sitting there seriously worried. I thought I was going to run out of
That's
time.
okay if you can't make it. You can't make it. That I don't. I'm good with that. I can sit up. But you believe me, I can sit up
Mm.
here and talk.
Well, what was nice was it was you can handle it. What was nice was, and it's same thing as any camp or hike or any other situation was I'm not sure, but I'm like, well, just keep pushing forward, keep
Yeah,
taking care of business, and as friends or family need attention, you do that. Next thing I know, every box was completed, and I was walking down the hill to do that last bit of filming. I got your link for the stream guard, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to be ready.
there you go.
And I was like, I walked right on up here, rebooted the laptop. I'm like, hey, it's right at my live time. So, all right. So, hey guys, come on up. Hey, you can talk challenge alliance. You can talk backpacking, or Al, you can talk anything. What's up,
That's
Jerb?
okay, Jen. I know. I know this is a bit of an odd time for you when I puts this when I goes live here today. Um, so don't worry about it. Um, you're always welcome. You know that. Even if it's if you make it to my Wednesday lives or whatever, you're always welcome. Um, this was just a semi convenient time for us as the founders to get together and do it and have a little talk and have a little chat and you know some weeks we have a lot of people come in, some weeks we have few people come in, but that's all a part of it.
I think it's just kind of as getting it to grow. It's
Mm.
like if people start if we're reliable, we're consistent. They're like, okay, every Friday we're going to be talking a bit about this plus some other things. But anybody wants to throw their hat in the ring about new ideas and or their thoughts, that we're always going to take it. But I'm having a blast. I'm like, it really is. It's giving me new life, and how frustrating YouTube can be. What am I doing? But I'm like, all right, what fun thing can I do for these guys?
I mean, like, I really enjoy doing these lives. I do. Meeting people, getting seen, getting out more on a personal level with you guys,
Yeah,
and not always all about camping and stuff like this or
right,
whatever. But just being able to meet you guys in person, sort of,
right.
Um, but one thing that I started and had the thought with the Camp Challenge Alliance was way back when we were all doing lives all the time. Everybody was like, I gotta go live. I gotta go.
Right, right,
My biggest thought was you can't give up doing your regular content.
right,
How can we have fun doing all of our regular content? How can we get people back into the basics of what YouTube is?
right.
Because
Yeah.
YouTube is going to look at your content.
Yep.
They do count your lives as content, yes. But you get 60, 70, 100, 200 views on one, and then it doesn't move anymore.
Right.
It might go up a couple. But a lot of people are not going back to watch a 2, 3,
Right.
4, 5 hour live, a 24-hour live. How many
Mhm.
people are going to sit down and watch a 24-hour live? Not very many.
I hit analytics, and there's a list of certain videos that I get hits every month. I just got surprised. I was hoping for this one. There's Indian Cave State Park, about an hour away from here, and I've hit that a couple of times, and I'm learning trying to tag the locations. I want people, if they're looking for a location or certain piece of equipment, hopefully my videos pop up. Well, sure enough, that video popped up. I'm like, it's getting views again.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Yep.
and that's what I'm like. I think, well, the response has been positive for me going out, showing, a hike and a cook. I think people are like, it gives them ideas, and then it can come back again. Oh, you got a cough, everybody. So, but yeah, I think YouTube is really about content, and I think if you
Strong
want
water.
people to come back, yeah, you got to have something that's searchable and people are going to stick and watch in there.
Yeah.
So,
But this is why I look at it and my videos, yeah, they be long. Some of them be really long.
sure.
But that's what got me where I am today, really.
Right.
The lives certainly helped. And I'm not gonna lie, the lives helped a lot. But even if I wasn't doing the lives, I was still right on track
Right.
to get my 4K and
Well,
my 1K.
I have been putting more thought into some longer videos from time to time because there are certain ones that people, they're watching it not just on their phones, but on TVs.
Yep.
And if somebody's put it
With
on a watch later, they've saved it, they'll might just sit there and watch. It's like a movie or whatever else.
But this is what I looked at with it. How many people sit down and watch the show alone?
Yeah, I do.
It's an hour long
Right.
video,
Yeah, it is. And
right?
and that's
Same,
with commercials and stuff.
it's the same thing,
Right.
right? Only thing is you can skip my commercials if you want to.
Right. Yeah.
I'd appreciate it if you didn't because I'm monetized, but you
Right, right,
can,
right,
right?
right.
So I mean, like, that's one of the things, and that's one of the draws with me to what I want to do. Now, it's not for everybody.
Right.
I'm not saying, guys, go make long videos. Guys, go make short videos. I don't tell you, like, I have people telling me, make short videos. I don't want to.
Right. And
If
then
I want to make short videos, I will. If I don't, I don't. It's me.
that's right. And you got to go with what,
Right?
by being you, you're more likely to get people to watch you. Hey, Jerbs.
Yeah,
What's
hey,
happening,
Derbs.
fellas?
I'm
Yeah.
not going to sit here and tell you, go and do this, and go and do that, and go
Right.
and do this, because it makes your channel better.
Right. So yeah, I was thinking once I got pretty good at bow drill, I might get some good views on bow drill. I'm like, you know what? There's a lot of dudes out there that know how to do bow drill.
Yep.
Nobody wants. I'm like, dude, you live in Nebraska. How many people know where the good trails are in Nebraska? Not
Yeah.
many. So,
So you
and,
started doing the trails and stuff, and that's people comes. Oh, look how nice it is there,
right, totally.
right?
So that's kind of where I'm trying to do. I'm like, there's a Sasquatch up there in Ponca State Park. Oh, there's a waterfall there. I didn't know that.
Mm.
Start showing those views nobody expects there. Gerbs, what's happening, man? Did you ever hug that bee?
Hey, Vitra.
No, I didn't. No hugging, no bees. They tend to have the stinger that'll kill me.
Yeah, that's a
Ah,
bad thing.
no EpiPen on hand at all times, is it?
Oh, I've got I think I've got like 6 or 7 of them in the house, just in case.
Let's see
Should
here.
have one attached to you, because you never know.
Okay,
Yep.
well, just give me a second. I'll go get it.
This is me telling someone how to run their stuff, right?
Right.
But I mean, like something like that. I know people that have the EpiPen on them at all times, and one of them is actually because of bee stings. And this is why I said it to Gerbs, like you should probably have it with you at all times if it says,
There they go.
There you go.
I've got 2
Do
right
those
here.
have to be refrigerated?
Nope,
No,
they
not
just
all of
have
them.
to
No,
be-
no.
They have to be in a dark spot because it's best if they stay in the box because they usually stay in the medicine cabinet. So
Now
But
the
I've
guy
got-
I knows. Oh, go ahead.
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay, Kimmers has one in her bag. I've got one in the truck. I've got one in my backpack. I've got these 2, and then there's one upstairs as well.
You wear a belt?
Do I wear a belt?
Mm-hmm.
I do,
All
but
time.
these are small enough that you can throw in your bag. Or
But
in
you
your
wear
pocket.
one all. You wear a belt all the time.
I do, yeah.
There's a guy that I used to work with. Had a little case hung on his belt, and he just had it in it all the time. Just because
Yeah.
he was outdoors. That part of his job was to have to go in and out outdoors all the time.
Yeah.
So if he got stung, he had to have the EpiPen right there, right ready to go.
Even if I have them, I have to go and get all that stuff that they jab you full of in the hospital. Like this will give me enough just to get to the hospital. And if the hospital's more than 30 minutes away, I'll have to jab myself twice, kind of deal.
That's the same way he is. He's like deadly allergic to him, and if he gets stung, he has to get to the hospital. And that's all it was this is the stopgap to get you to the hospital.
Just so my throat doesn't swell up and choke me out. There was a time where I had to put a Slurpee straw down my throat just to
breathe,
just so I could breathe. Yeah.
Oh wow! I was just watching the old Survivor. A certain individual decided to go raid a bee's nest, African bee's nest, to go get some honey, and they wrapped up.
Not a good idea.
They still got stung.
Not a good idea.
No, so I mean, in the end, they were happy to eat that honey, but they were like, not necessarily the smartest move, but on that show, I think they were being paid to be the risk taker. So what he's there for, so kind of.
If I was ever put in that position, I would try and get to some body of water with a straw and put something over the straw so they couldn't get into the spout, because as soon as that went down in my throat, I'd be dead, right? But I would try and get into a body of water so I couldn't get stung.
Sure. Yeah, that one was not really set up for that one, but it did get me wondering. I'm like, if I were out there, it's like, what would I go for? And I'm like, now typically they say statistically that most people get rescued within 3 days. So as long as you got water, if you bring a few basic supplies, you'll probably be okay. You might be hungry, but you'll be all right.
Providing you stay in the same spot.
Yes, provided you stay in the same spot. Yeah, no wandering off, So we were just talking about that the other night, weren't we, Al? It was about, panicky for about 5 minutes from so sit down.
Yeah. That 5 minutes of panic can put you in a lot of trouble.
Yeah,
totally.
Which,
especially if you get stuck in your head.
Yeah. I wonder, it's like, could I find a spot for that navigation one where it's like, if I get out, do an example, getting panicky and running off, and I'm like, now how do I get back? No, it's obviously it would be wise for me to know the area, but if I already know the area, so am I truly navigating my way out of there? I don't know. I don't know.
But just for fun, one time, I went down and tried to get lost, and took my compass, and I said, I'm going to see where I come out by following the direction that I know.
Yeah.
Which is head north. And I literally, from the spot I was to, I headed north and I came out like 20 feet away from where the path I went in on.
Huh.
Right?
That worked out really well. I mean, the thing about like at survival school when I was at Washington State, we did SEER, and when we timed out, it's like we didn't get to the destination point. They're like, take this heading, and I'll get you to the main road. Same thing like you do on the other plants. It's like know your exits.
Yep.
And sure enough, that's what me and my partner, we ran out a little bit of time. So we did exit stage right. Next thing you know, we found our way over the road and they picked us up and brought us back, So
Milk? Yeah. Milk and what?
I forget to put my banner on all the time, guys.
Milk and chocolate.
If you were in the chat, guys, type backstep and all one word backstep and it will drop your link for you.
I'm gonna have to get some coffee here.
I've thought about that.
Oh man, it's like we were up till 1:30 last night. I was trying to leave early, but family member decided they want to talk politics. I'm like, I hate politics. I don't want to talk politics. But it was one of those
fighting words.
Yeah, I know, pretty much. And I'm just like, Arr. And so, but I couldn't walk away because he really wanted to. I'm like, all right, I'll do it. Caring is sharing, and so, but yeah, now I'm dragging. That's like, but at least I got through my chores, and I'll brew up a pot of coffee here in a little bit.
Nice.
And eat some more dinner. So Jervis, where's your fire? We haven't seen you do a Camp Challenge Alliance in a while. Are you up for it? You gonna be doing a catch and cook for us? Or
now that I've got the truck up and running, I'm planning on doing catch and cook on this lake or on the river too.
Nice. So what kind of fish you got there in the lake?
Trout, more trout.
Okay.
Yeah, trout.
And a little bit of trout. Okay.
Sounds like here.
Stick.
The only thing we got in the water here in Newfoundland is trout.
I mean, this lake, they've got bass on the other one side of it, but I don't know how to catch. I'm not a very good bass fisher. But we've got. I think how it goes is if the trout get too big, they're called kokanee salmon.
Okay.
And so salmon or trout turn into kokanee salmon. Apparently, I don't know what that means, but apparently, if
two different species, but
yeah, you would think, right? But if the trout get bigger than 52 centimeters, I don't know what that is in inches, you're not allowed to keep them anymore because those are grandfather fish. Apparently, you're not allowed to keep those ones. But in the States, there's seasons. You're not allowed to fish for trout. Apparently, is that true? In some states.
I don't know about that. I don't track it enough. Normally, I go to certain lakes, and they'll tell you what their limits are for each lake. They'll say, they'll tell you what they have stocked, and they'll tell you what your limits are for it. But I haven't really tracked.
Yeah, we're allowed to catch 4 brown trout, 4 rainbow trout, per day. And there's no off days. Like you're allowed to catch a certain amount of fish per day, and there's no days that you're not allowed to catch fish. It's just there's this channel that any fin is possible.
Yeah.
And I guess there's seasons where he's not allowed to catch fish down there. I just don't understand that.
Well, again, I don't fish a lot, but basically I've always, when I hear the seasons, it's talking about if they're breeding, when they're going to be more active, if they stock the ponds and stuff. Hey, Chris. But I'm not really well versed in it. Now, normally like mammals, deer, turkey. You're going to have a starting in, a bow or
hunting season. Yeah,
but for fishing, normally it's based on their breeding season. Like when I was on the East Coast, I was over at Vermont, and we were going up and down the Potomac. Even though was it smelt or where it was? It's like there was lots of them, but they weren't biting anymore. The week prior, they'd bite, and you could take as much as you want. The next week, they just, even though they were there, you just saw them dying because their time had passed.
Right.
So I think it's more based on their biology, their biological clock more than anything. Maybe Chris knows better, but aren't you across the pond there, Chris?
I am, yeah. Yeah, I am. 5 to 11. Yeah, 5 to 11 at night.
Being as I'm on the island, there's salmon fishing and halibut fishing and cod fishing and mussels and clams and oysters and there's so many fish species and whatnot on the island that I can basically go anywhere and get anything.
Man, if you had a good multi-species day, you can make up some good bouillabaisse or something like that, a good type of stew or something like that. That would be a nice.
I can go to any beach, any beach that's on the ocean and pick up mussels, clams, oysters. Yeah, it's plentiful out here.
Well, you could do that because some of us here in Nebraska, we can fish, but we can't go find mussels and mollusks and things like that. So
it's true. There's tons of crab. There's lobsters on the East Coast, so he would have to do the lobster.
Yeah. How about you, Chris? You do any fishing, or what do you do out there? You got hunting, or what do you get into?
Used to do a bit of hunting, rabbits, wood pigeons.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm quite partial to a few wood pigeons. Very tasty.
Yeah,
pigeons,
eh?
Yeah.
Do you grill them up? Fry them up?
Is that squab?
The squab is the baby pigeon.
Okay.
In the UK, anyway. But we've got wood pigeons. They're larger. They've got a white ring around the neck.
Right.
And they're really tasty because they just eat berries.
Nice.
Our pigeons over here are sort of pests, so they eat all the rubbish off the floor, so you can't eat them. They're sort of vermin. Yeah. But the wood pigeons, you look through the scope, you get one with a nice red breast on it, and you take that one and literally take the breast out, cut it into 4, fry it, put it in a bread roll.
Yeah.
It's lovely. It's like the best steak.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Really nice. Yeah.
Flying steak.
Yeah, flying steaks. Yeah.
That's all right. I like flying steak, man. Yeah, I hadn't thought about it, but yeah, if you get a berry eater, it's like animals really take on whatever flavor they're eating there. So
my uncle, he always got bear that would eat blueberries.
Oh yeah.
And the meat was so good. There's nothing like it. Nothing like it at all.
The bugger ate all of my blueberries this year.
I know, right? Poor Al.
No blueberries for you?
Gone.
He hiked out. How far of a hike was it for you to find out?
I was walking for over an hour to get to this spot where I knew it was I'd been there. I've got pictures of it where I've hauled the blueberry bush up and it looks like I got a handful of grapes in my hand.
Really?
And when I went up there last year, and you could see all the tops of the leaves and everything all chewed off. I got maybe this much of a salt beef bucket.
So what do you think that was? A bear or a deer?
It was a bear.
Yeah. It was a bear, yeah.
And it was a bear. You could see the impressions.
That would have been a tasty piece of meat for sure.
Yeah, he definitely would have been if I had got him eating my berries.
Yeah. Get out of my blueberries, you
little frigger.
Oh man!
But that's a bear that's moved into this territory now because there was no bears around here, so he's moved in here now, and now I got to try to get to the berries before he does.
Right.
What species? Black bear?
I think it's a black bear. Yeah. So figure as long as it's not a mama. Because if I goes down and there's a mama, and I goes down in the spring and she got her cubs, That's where you got to worry about.
Oh man, yeah. Don't tick off a mama.
No,
especially
and
a black bear because they can climb.
yes,
No tree can
the
save
other
you.
thing too is you don't want to have to put down a mother
No.
because the cubs are there, Dane, and what do you do with cubs?
Yeah.
Right. That's something you don't want to have to do. So my eyes bees open a lot more when I'm down there now. But yeah, what's today? What's today?
March
This is
31st.
30.
The
Tomorrow's April
last day of the
Fool.
month
That's
is
right.
what it
Yeah.
is.
First quarter of the year gone already.
I know, right? It's
Next
crazy.
week. Next week is my birthday.
When's your birthday?
It's on the 10th. It's a Monday.
On the
So
10th.
I am thinking I am going to do it live on my birthday.
Nice.
Probably going to be later on in the evening. It's not going to be early, and I'm not doing no 24-hour or nothing like that. Thank you, Jen. But yeah, that's what I think I'm going to do. I'm going to go and probably after supper, maybe around the same time as this, I'll go on, but I'll stay on maybe a little bit longer. Because it's Monday, and there's not a big lot of people that have Monday filled up. So
Yeah, you got me thinking now. I was like,
oh, we just lost Gerbs.
Well, you got me thinking now. And I was like, 1K might not be as far down the road as I was originally thought. So I'm like, I don't know if I can take 24, but I'm like, although if I plan my food better next time, I'm like, what I do? Would a 24-hour be appropriate and watch the demise of Johnny again? I don't know.
Well, if you see what made mine, and it's sad, but what made mine so successful was I was doing a giveaway.
Yeah, you were.
Almost
Several.
every minute.
Yeah.
I was doing it was I worked it out, and there was a minimum of 5 an hour.
Dang, that's
there was no dead time in that live at all. Hey, Mayhem Miracles, thanks for stopping in.
I was trying to read the comments, and then I pushed the wrong button, and it.
Oh yeah, I was wondering what happened. Yeah, but in doing that, it kept me busy. It kept me occupied. It kept me with something to do for the entire 24 hours.
Right. That would be helpful because you remember it's like for me, I would just like, I'm done. I'm like, I don't know what I'm like. I don't really know what to say. I don't feel like talking anymore.
Even if you plan, okay, I'm gonna give out stickers every hour. We're gonna do a wheel. That's something that's gonna keep you
right
focused on something. There's 24 stickers to send out.
Yeah.
And then you'll get people coming in saying, "Hey, can I donate?" Or you'll get people ahead of time saying, "Plan it. Don't do it on the spur of the moment. Plan it."
Sure, right.
Because you know as yourself, when I was coming up on my 24 hours, the 3 days before, I had a live each day.
Yeah.
And I had notes. Dave wants to give 10 stickers. So and so wants to give 10 stickers. That's if you do one an hour, that's 10 hours.
Oh, that's a
Now,
lot.
if you got 20 stickers, that's 20 hours. And then if you throw in 10, that's 30 hours. Yeah. Okay, now I got more than one per.
Yeah.
Right? That's how it accumulates. And that's what happened with me to the point, because I didn't have all these prizes to give away. People were donating stuff left, right, and center. Hey, here's this, here's that. I had people donating T-shirts. I had people donating.
Did everybody ship it to you, or are they going to send it direct to the winner?
Well, that's one of the things I said. I said, okay, guys, instead of shipping it to me and then me having to ship it out, just ship it direct to the winner. Everybody that wins, send me the emails with your information. I will forward it on to who it needs to go to. Right. Unless you know the person that you won from, then you can contact them yourself, and it saves me one step.
Right.
I had, I think it was over 400. I got it all written down somewhere, but it was like, frig.
It's okay.
My
okay.
mind goes blank.
Yeah. That's
I
okay.
had,
Change the topic if you want.
I think it was 400 prizes
That's a lot.
given out in the 24 hours.
Well, just in the short time we were doing the Camp Challenge Alliance discussion, it was like watch a video or two, and you had to do a drawing. Watch a video or two, had to do another drawing. I mean, it was nonstop. So, well, total change of topic, but Chris, your hand caught my attention.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
Yeah, it's like what kind of tattoo you sporting there, brother?
All right, I've got an anchor and roses on that one.
Yeah.
Now let me.
And then that one is a fish.
Koi.
Oh, koi fish.
Koi fish, yeah.
Yeah. So
Nice.
about a few years back, I was what they call a neighbourhood warden over in London. So I was dealing with antisocial behaviour. We weren't allowed hand tattoos because we were uniformed.
Mm-hmm.
And then about 5 years ago, I got a job working on the river, like as a river keeper. So to celebrate, I had both my hands tattooed at the same time.
Nice.
Yeah, so hence the tattoos. Yeah.
All I gotta say, sucker.
Yeah. So bit of a 50-year-old rebel, like, you know.
I'm looking at getting my first tat. I don't have any, but my puppy passed away last year. We had to put him down. So Al designed something.
Yours is on the way now, Johnny, I believe.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, appreciate it.
I think I already mailed it. I think that went out in the mail.
I got all my tattoo gear right here. It's itching to get used.
Oh, you're treating it bad.
Putting it in a bag. No, it's in a case and everything. It's just
hey, Beverly.
No, it's in a box and everything. It's like just hanging off of the dresser.
Oh, yeah, see, you're still treating it bad. You're not using it.
Yeah, it's true.
No, practice.
I want to do a biohazard sign on this hand and a Buddha head on this hand.
Are you ambidextrous?
Yep.
Good. Be careful with the biohazard.
Yeah, it's the geometrics of it and making it all perfect.
You have to have the symmetrics of it all down, and
yeah,
I could probably do one. I wouldn't think I would have too much of an issue doing.
I don't think I'm going to do it. I'll get somebody to do it.
I don't like the idea of these very geometric, has to be precise things, because they're so easy to not have precise. And even if it's precise on the paper, when you put it on the skin,
it's hard to get.
Well, it's not so much that it's flexing. You just got to make sure, okay, when you're putting it on your hand, don't make fist.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Have your hand relaxed and put it on. Because if you're making a fist, you're going to stretch it. And then when you put your hand out normal, it's going to squish it.
It's totally true.
All right, so Chris, did you make a fist or did you relax when you did them?
I had 2 tennis balls.
2 tennis balls?
Okay. Yeah, see, that would be good.
Like that.
Keep your hands out flat, right?
Yeah, like that. And then they done it.
Yeah.
Because they said if your hand's flat, it all wrinkles up.
Yep.
You know?
So for Al, for mine, we were probably thinking like on the arm, right? Probably isn't just because of. So we got to keep pumping some iron here.
I sent you 2 different designs.
Yeah, you did. Oh yeah.
Okay.
I think it would look good on your calf too. Homie running with you on your calf.
Man, those are some white legs. I tell you what.
Well, the black would show off really well.
Yeah, it would. There, talk about your contrast. Yes, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
But if you bring them anywhere, make sure that they know, because it's done in pencil and there's light and dark in it. Make sure they know that it's all solid black. It's not.
Gotcha. And that would be the way to go on that one, I would think. Yeah.
Are you doing black and white?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
nice.
Just simple. I'm like, Al figured it out. We were talking. He goes, "What do you want eventually?" I was like, "I don't know." And after a while, just talking about how I felt about Homie and just kind of that impression, he kind of captured it,
Yeah.
As
Homie was your best friend, that's for sure.
oh, I tell you, man, I was down the hill today filming for a video, and I was like, "Dang, I do not spend the time down here. I used to live down there. I would just sit." Hey, you taking off, Chris, or are you just saying hi?
No, he was saying
No,
hi.
just saying hi.
Yeah. But I would just stand down there, rain, snowed, sleet, didn't matter. Because if the boy wanted to wander up and down the creek, that was fine.
That's what he got. That's true.
And I saw more things. It wasn't quite Al the way you can sit there for half an hour doing nothing, but it was handed with my boy. I'm like, oh, I didn't know that tree was there, and oh, there's and it was he slowed me down and taught me to observe, and
to enjoy the little things.
Yeah, and he always wanted to come with, so it was great. Tony, what's up, man?
Now, before he goes on here, I got to apologize to Tony because I did send the link to you, but when I got a message back of probably about 45 minutes into this, and I got a message back saying it wasn't delivered.
It was delivered. I just I was in airplane mode out in the middle of nowhere, so.
But I had to go in and switch on my phone, switch it from message to text, SMS or whatever it is.
Right.
It came back to me saying not delivered, and then I had to resend it. So.
Yeah, I just got back to camp, turned the Wi-Fi and the airplane mode back off, and as soon as it connected, I was like, all right. I knew I was going to be late either way.
Well, thank you for showing up.
Oops. Ghosty is alive and rolling now.
Cool.
Can't wait to get out and start adventuring.
So you're going to roll it out of the driveway, right?
Oh, I can legally do it now.
That's awesome.
Actually, me and Kimmers have got all the GPS coordinates to the largest Douglas fir ever.
Ever?
Like the world's largest Douglas fir, and it's about 40 kilometers away from here.
Wow. That's in Washington, isn't it?
No, it's on Vancouver Island. No, it's like 40 minutes away from here.
Cool. Yeah, I've seen Washington's largest fir, largest cedar, largest rhododendron.
Yeah, that was huge.
Okay. Yes. Colors fade. Okay?
Yeah.
That's a natural occurrence. Red, they say, is one of the worst ones that fades out the easiest.
Yeah.
My Iron Man, I don't know if you can see it well enough there or not, but this Iron Man has been done for about 6 or 7 years now.
That's actually pretty good. So you should make yourself big so we can see it.
Yeah, that would help, wouldn't it? Yeah. There we go. So like I said, this is about 6 or 7 years. Even the yellow on his face fades fading. And yellow is one of the worst ones for fading out.
Really is.
Now, do the colors bleed out a little bit? Kind of.
Well, here's the thing. And here's a thing, and I actually saw this on a professional tattoo show. Guy went up and he did this beautiful flower thing, but he didn't have outlines on it. Outlines, the dark lines to distinguish the flower petals and stuff like that. Now, it looked fantastic.
Fresh.
And Mrs. on the show that was judging the tattoos looked at him and said,
I think I know which one you're talking about. Yeah.
Where is your lines? And he said, look how beautiful this is. It does not leave lines. And she turned and looked at him and said, in 2 years' time, that's going to be a big red blotch.
Yeah. It really will be.
This is what makes the difference between having a tattoo that will last versus something that looks fantastic. Because one of the biggest things people say to me, what about portraits and stuff? And I don't like doing portraits
Yeah.
because it's a lot of really light shading. Now, I have done a couple for people with different things like the headdress and stuff like that. But it's a lot of really light shading, and the light shading is going to disappear over time. So, even if it's just an all black tattoo, you can still have a lot of problems with it. It doesn't matter what the color is. Different types of inks don't last as long.
Yeah.
Different tattoo artists do a lot of different things. Like some people will not put outline defined lines on your picture and it'll look amazing. You'll walk away happy. In a couple of years, you're not going to be happy with it.
Yeah, there was one guy in a competition. He refused to do outlines.
Yes, that's the one I was watching.
Yeah, and I remember it was eventually they were like, dude, it's like, we're telling you. And next thing you know, off you go.
Yeah, they said, you got one chance to fix it. You done this flower thing. And he said, I don't need lines. And she said, get it, go home.
Yeah, yeah. So
just go home. Not,
yeah, those
anyway.
Those shows have made me really great appreciation for the artwork there. Yeah, because I grew up down the Bible Belt, and no tattoos or anything like that, and as I was watching it, I didn't realize there was so much technique, and then just the colors and the fading. What's it going to look like in X number of years and stuff? And then you see some people, they'll just totally grade up the skin. And I'm like, dang, I don't want to get bad with someone. Like when you and I were talking, I'm like, no, I don't want a portrait because I don't want to try to imitate that because I would want a picture, I don't need it on me. I was like, I want something that reminds me of homie and I want it to last. And, I don't want to be just happy with it today. I'd want to be happy with it decades from now. So yeah, I'm like, you got a really great appreciation for the art, as far as understanding the medium, the human skin,
Yeah.
How about you, Tony? Do you have any tats?
Nope.
I
got no use for any more scars, thanks.
No. Scar tissue is hard to tattoo on.
Now,
isn't it?
Here's one I did. It's a little bit slanty because the way her arm was out, it was a little hard to get the picture off.
Oh, that's cute.
Right?
Keisha.
But that was her dog.
Yeah.
Cool.
And she had this old black and white picture of it where all the mouth and everything, all this down here was black.
Yeah.
And it looked like this big black blob. I was like, I'm sorry, my dear, I cannot do that on you. I said, that's just a black mess.
Right.
Koalas. Cool.
I said, there's no way I'm doing that on you. I said, you send me a picture of what your dog looked like, and I will see what I can come up with. Luckily, it was a light-colored dog. And it wasn't too bad trying to get all of this stuff done up for it. So when I done it, she was ecstatic.
That's what really matters.
Yeah, well, so
customers got to be happy.
Well, but the thing is with portraits and stuff like that, there's so much subtle shading that you got to put in, especially when it's a face of a person.
Yeah.
There's so much subtle shading that you got to put in that it can be really hard to make sure it's going to last.
Yeah.
Because it'll look great when it's done.
Right.
But the time will tell all.
Totally.
This one here, hang on. I see Johnny leaning in trying to look. This one here.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, man.
In the leaves.
Yeah, the shading there. That's cool.
Yeah, but see in the leaves, there's 2 letters.
Yeah.
This was their first boyfriend, and he passed away.
Oh.
So they wanted to get a memorial done.
So it has double meaning, like NA, not available?
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking, Tony.
And then this is the one that I did on our father.
Cool.
I would like the
Oh.
one on my back redone because the artist that did it, he didn't put it in deep enough, so it bled out and faded like almost within the first 6 months, and it was the first piece of graffiti I ever did. And yeah, like there was tons of color, and now it looks like chicken scratch.
Yeah, now this one looks kind of harsh because it's really fresh, but this is what I'm talking about with the faces.
Oh, sure.
The subtle shading that's around the eyes and the jawline and stuff like that, as that heals up, it lightens up. And one of the things is over time, it will disappear a lot quicker than the rest of it.
It'll turn into a skull.
Yeah. So, luckily for her, that's my cousin. So she's, here's another one of it when it was pretty much healed up. You can see how light the jawline and that went on it.
How long did it take you to do that one?
2 sittings.
4 hours apiece.
Probably about 5 on the first one because it was the outline and that was the harder part for. And I think it was about 4 or so on the last one. This one. I don't know if any of you guys saw this one.
Wow.
1 sitting, 6.5
One
hours.
sitting?
1 sitting. She sat through this entire thing.
Nicely done. Yeah.
She sat through this
What is the
entire
spelling
thing.
on the spine?
It says it's written. It's in English, but it's done in Skrillex.
Yeah.
It says stalked by demons and hang on, guarded by angels.
Cool.
I mean, like that was. I was by the time that was done.
You were done.
Well, it's not me.
No.
It was her. She was
probably
a trooper, and she was like tapping out big time. It was like, I gotta go. But I mean, like, as if
that's
with
a
regards
sitting.
with regards to color, you can get color tattoos that will last a long time.
Totally.
All right, that's one I done. It's hard to see the yellows and that in it, but that's just because there's a computer and the glare on the phone and that.
Yeah.
But don't be afraid to get a color tattoo.
No.
Just make sure you go to someone that's going to be able to put the color in properly.
Totally.
So that's kind of what I've wondered. I'm like, as I've watched those competitions, you can tell the ones that have been doing it for a while. And so, of course, I'm clueless to the whole thing. Oh, it looks good, and then the judges flip them apart. And
are you going to do this? Are you going to do that? Like, what the freak were you doing there?
Yeah.
Kimmer has a ton of tats. So do I. But the one she got one, it was she won a contest, and one of the tattoo artists did a stoned kind of like a, those Greek statues. It's kind of like that, but it's a girl with her back showing, but it's in a black and white, and man, the quality of the penmanship on her it's just it's good stuff.
Yeah,
phenomenal.
Some people are really gifted. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, it's not only that too. Tattooing is an art form, yes, but it's also 100%. Depends on the canvas that you're working on. I've worked on people where you barely got to go in and the ink just takes.
Yeah.
And I've worked on people there I got to go over twice.
Yeah.
To get the ink to take in. It's
right.
Everybody's different. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Like with mine, blue won't go into my skin.
Yeah.
Really?
And if I'm driving and I pull out on a car, it's always a blue car. So the blue will not go in. So something on the side, peripheral eyesight, we're not taking blue. And also my tattoos, we're not taking blue. I woke up in the morning one morning, I had wave barbs all down this arm.
Yeah.
All this was blue. And when I
It
woke
all
up in the
came
morning,
out.
it was gone. It was blue
Wow.
all over the bed. So I had to
Wow.
go back 3 weeks later when it healed and had the black done, and that was painful.
Yeah.
Worst pain ever on a tattoo.
Oh.
Now,
But it,
I had someone have that same problem with purple on their skin. They went and they had it done 4 times with purple on something on a little tattoo that they had done, and I said,
Just wouldn't take
going
it.
back to the same place, and they said, yeah, because they knew the tattoo artists. They were really good. I'm not going to say anything bad about them because they were good. And I said, okay, well, let me try my ink because inks are all different too.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
I put the purple in for, and it's been fine ever since.
Nice.
Right? It's just, it took and it held and it's there, and she is so happy. She's like, oh my God, I can't believe it stayed there. Because it was literally, when it healed, the purple would go away. Like she could literally watch it day by day, getting lighter and lighter and lighter until it was no more purple there.
Now, Chris, did you say that like yours,
I
the
gotta-
blue bled
I
out
found-
like onto your sheets? Like,
yeah.
Wow.
I gotta
Yeah.
buy out,
The
guys.
body pushed it out.
See you,
Hey,
Gerbs.
So,
Stay blessed, everybody.
yeah, the actual the blue actually came out. Was it? I think. Does the outline go 5 or 6 layers into the skin, and the color goes in 3, and it never dries? It stays under the. I think it's called epidermis or something under the skin.
Yeah.
I had a cover up done. I had this farmer. He was all dressed in green, walking a dog, and after a few years, it looked horrible. So I had a cover up done. And while the bloke was tattooing me, covering up, the green was coming out my skin, and the tattoo was like 7 years old.
Whoa.
It was still the green ink was coming out as he was doing it.
Sounds like it could be just an ink issue, you know.
Yeah.
I've done cover ups on people, and I've never ever had that.
Yeah. I mean, I've had a lot of tattoos by different people. So yeah.
That's really strange.
So would it be wise for me to get little, what do they call them, a banger or something simple before I got the sentimental one? If it's my first?
You want to check out the tattoo artists that you're going to. That's all.
Yeah.
You can look. A lot of times you can look them up online, or you can go into the shop and say, "Whose artwork is this?"
Yeah. Oh, I've
And
looked
they'll
up
tell
who I'm
you.
going to do it. I found the person with the right style, I think, or at least interview with.
I would say to you, if you're going to have your first tattoo and you haven't had one done before, have it done on the outside top of your arm.
Yeah.
Because then if you're ever not happy with it, your shirt's going to cover it. It doesn't hurt as much on the top of your arm. If you have it underneath your arm, on your wrist, it's worse. Yeah, on the top. Yeah, have a nice tattoo there.
Yeah.
On your shoulder. Yeah, definitely.
I figured, I was toying with, at some point getting a compass on one, you know, and the homie on the other one or something like that. I don't know. I don't see fire on me, but
There's
I be a skull guy.
I wouldn't go with fire really for a tattoo. I've seen people have that done, and some of it can be not so nice looking after a little while. But
I don't like.
Jen says it would be wiser to not get a tattoo.
Right. Yeah.
I don't like tattoos when they're fresh. I like them off when they're about a year old.
Sure.
They smooth out a bit, don't they? And the lines go a little bit thicker.
Sure.
The shading blends better, and
Now, as you were talking, you got me thinking. I have thought about American style tat. Those seem to I don't know. It seems classic to me. That's something that it would age well. I'm guessing. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah.
I don't know. I always think of. I just remember the sailor tattoos. You got the anchor, got something like that, and the faded colors. I'm like, just kind of. That's the first thing that always comes to my mind nowadays. I'm seeing all the bands and the sleeves and everything, and so
one of the big things I'd have to say to you, Johnny, is if you're going to get a tattoo and you want to see what it's like, just get something small just to see what it's like.
Right.
Now, but pick out something that's going to have some sort of a meaning to you that you're not going to look at it and say, what in the frig did I ever do that for?
Sure, yeah.
You know? Because there's people that do that, and they're looking, and that's like my tattoos. I'm never going to look at my tattoos and say, why did I ever do that?
Right.
Because everything I got on me is stuff I wanted.
And that's what I've said for years. I'm like, okay, what would I get and where would I put it? I'm like, I don't know. It's like nothing really.
So, that being said, if you just want to try it, go pick out something at the store. But keep in mind what you want to revolve around with your tattoo, because I know you want to get the compass your
the sentimental
memory, your little sentimental one. But when you go to get that, then you'll have an idea. Okay, this is what it's going to be like while I'm getting it. Now, how good did the one I have turn out from the guy that done it?
Right.
Right. So you'll get a good idea of, okay, he's good.
Right.
He's not. You know.
Right. So maybe start with the shoulder. I don't know, but of course I would want to be able to see it. That's the thing. I'm not. It's like, and I wouldn't want to have to hold a mirror up.
Well, that's why getting it on the shoulder, because you can put your arm up and you can see it there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The two shoulders is probably the best spots to go.
Yeah.
For tattoos, for something for first time. Now, like, I know a lot of people they got the first tattoos here or here.
Yeah.
But it's like a name.
Right.
Son or daughter or something like that. They had their name put on them. And that's a good spot to get them because it's really easy to do.
Yeah. You don't look like you have to shave too much to get for your tats to come through.
Me, no, I'm not.
There you go.
People look at me and they say, well, there you go. See?
Yeah.
People look at me and they're like, oh, you shave your arms ring? DJ got more hair on his chest than I do. I'm not even joking.
Oh, man.
Right?
He's probably got more than I got on my head.
I did.
Brother, like, have you seen me?
I did my chest tattoos.
I haven't taken a razor to this.
I've done my chest tattoos and I never even had to shave to do them.
Yeah.
Right? It was like, I'm not at all hairy by no means. I don't know. I just never was.
Yeah.
But
I don't have that issue. That hair is everywhere.
Yeah. Boy, are we far off from Camp Challenge Alliance right now?
It's Tattoo Challenge Alliance. Yeah.
That's right.
I would say to you, I'll give you a little tip as well. When you're going for your tattoo, take some full fat Coca-Cola with you.
Okay.
Because as you sit there having the tattoo done, your immune system slows down, so you need sugar. And it's Coca-Cola is the best. I sat for 10 hours and had a full sleeve done with 4 bottles of Coca-Cola.
Really?
So, yeah, but because after a couple of hours, you do fall asleep. It's just, I don't know, the Coca-Cola just gives you a boost.
Okay.
Well, see, the thing is I don't mind getting tattoos. If I go in and lay down on a table, it doesn't have to be an hour in, 10 minutes in, and I'm starting to nod off because I'm comfortable and it doesn't bother me. When I was getting the one on the back of my neck, it wasn't my very first tattoo, but it was my first one that was done in the actual tattoo parlor. And when I went in, I laid down on the table and I just started nodding off a little bit. He kept waking me up. I was like, well, I was just trying to take a nap. Just do the tattoo. And he looked at me and said, no. He said, I can't do it if you're not awake.
Wow.
So,
I was just going to say that.
Did you see Jenna Steve's question there? Jenna Steve asked, what's the most Camp Challenge related tattoo you have? So we've had
probably.
Oh, yeah, I've got one.
Yeah.
I've got a really good one. Yeah, I'm gonna have to take my headphones off and see where it is.
Probably the moose and the wolf.
Oh, okay. What's that one where your pinky's at? What was that?
Up here.
No.
Oh,
What's
this one
behind
is
the
the moose head,
Okay.
and then there's the wolf
Yeah.
in the forest.
Okay.
That moose head actually got my dad written in it. It's just hard to see there. It's got dad written in it right here.
Okay. Nice. Noise.
And Stewie.
Stewie.
I have tons of Camp Challenge scars.
Yeah, Tony has scars. He does not have pants. I was like, you got all 10 digits, right? All 10
Oh, they are, and most of them work.
Okay. All right.
So
you got
what's
something for
yours?
us, Chris? Chris is going to show his. What has he got there? All right, Chris, you're bigified. Let's see the tat. See, not here it is.
It takes a minute to get overseas.
Yeah, I will do, but it's gone. Keeps freezing.
Oh.
So I've got us axe.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
All the way around the top of the arm.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's hard to do it on this camera.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard. It's much easier with the phone.
right.
Yeah.
Now, if we do a shooting challenge, that little looks like the rifle you had on your forearm. That'd be there too. Good. That'd be all right.
Oh, that one, yeah. I've got that one underneath as well, which is it's hard to show really. No, not going to work, is it? Where is it? There.
Whoa,
nice.
Nice.
That's all right.
So that's a British Army SA-80. That's my great granddad who was killed in Burma. My granddad killed in World War II, and my godfather was killed in Northern Ireland.
I don't want to talk about those scars. I'd rather talk about the knife and axe ones.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. But as Al was saying, sometimes you have a tattoo done for a reason.
Right.
You know, in 20 years' time, there's going to be loads of old women walking around with Bart Simpson on their arm. You know, I mean,
yeah, absolutely, right. Totally.
You know,
I remember people got to get the Tasmanian Devil or different things, and I'm like, no. That's why I'm like, I wasn't going to do anything gimmicky. That was just a passing fade, or But I'm like, if I'm going to do something, I wanted to kind of be meaningful to me, and well, I finally got something there that I'm thinking about. So that's probably just a matter of time when I book it and do it. So Tony, all right, what's your favorite scar? Your most memorable scar here? What you got there, brother?
I got a couple on my hands. I slid down a cliff one time, shoved a limb right through my hand.
Ow.
It stopped me from falling, so it's memorable. I really can't see it anymore. Maybe. On my thumb. Goes right through the meat and out the thumb finger. I hung on that cliff on that.
Ooh, that stung.
Oh, yeah. Could have stung worse if I didn't stop.
Right.
Okay, well, we're going to put you small. Because... Ow.
I got some good ones on my back from racing bikes that I remember pretty well. Accidents. I took a set of handlebars through the gut one time.
Oof.
That one didn't leave me a very good scar.
No. Scars.
I got one on my legs from being stabbed falling on a log.
Yeah. Ow.
That one was pretty bad. That's a good scar. But yeah, I can't show that either.
Can't show that one either.
No.
Oh, good time says that's enough of that. Oh man! Well, I tell you, in the end, it does make for some good stories. That's for sure. So.
Here's a good story.
You look at them and you remember where you got most of them.
Right.
For sure.
I had someone come to me and they got an L and an R for their left and their right.
Were they going off to boot camp so they could?
Yeah. Life memory. I'm like, seriously? Yup, that's what I want.
Wow.
Okay.
Should have told them to cross their arms and have the tattoo done.
Yeah.
I like that kind of thinking.
But here's the
Really
thing: when they do
really
cross their
confused.
arms now, they're really confused anyway.
I know.
That's funny.
Oh,
Oh man, that's all right. Oh, that's good stuff. This has been an interesting life.
all because of Purple Winks asked a question.
I tell you,
Yeah.
that's
Well, but that's how things turn out here sometimes. We don't always stick to the main topic. That's
Right.
why we open the panel.
right.
We had the first half hour or so, 45
30,
minutes,
45 minutes, something like that. Yeah.
and it was just us up here
Cool.
having a chat about the Camp Challenge Alliance and going over what we had talked about, what we need to what we were thinking for our next ones, and me not giving no details on what I'm going to do. As
You are
know.
Mr. Secret. I tell you what. You're one of
This
those guys.
next challenge kind of has to be, doesn't it?
No, doesn't. I could tell you exactly what I'm going to do, and you'd die laughing, and you'd be like, seriously? And I'm like, yep. But
As long as Johnny's not
Nope.
deep frying again, I think we'll get through it.
Did you see Johnny's little short that he put up?
But when was it?
It was on Facebook about a week ago. But
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Tomorrow-
the fishing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Tomorrow I'll give you the full thing, which is still going to only be about 4 minutes. It's not going to be super long, 4 or 5 minutes. But I'm going to have the bloopers and the extra clips at the end of it, just to try to make it more interesting. But yeah, it's not deep frying. I'll tell you that, Tony. It's not deep frying. But next week's I'm pretty.
Congratulations for breaking the 600. You
Yeah,
are well on your
congrats.
way.
Nice one.
No.
Awesome.
But yeah, yesterday was the one I'm doing tomorrow is just for fun April Fool's type video. Next week will be my April challenge. It will involve some good bushcraft, but with some kid friendly fun activities to it. So,
Cool.
which,
Yeah, because cooking children isn't a good thing to do.
well, depends on what seasoning you do. You know, a little drunken chef spices goes a long way.
Depends how chewy they are as well. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. Depends on what they've been eating. You know.
Purple Winks must have
Awesome,
missed
bro.
what you got on your hands, Chris.
What's that?
On the back.
But she wants to know what you have on the back of your hands.
Oh, right. Okay. Here we go again. I've got a fish and an anchor with roses. Then I've got nothing at the front.
Don't get the palms in your hands done.
A new sleeping bag as well.
Oh, there you go. It's like,
I got you beat. I got a dinosaur.
There you go. You got a dinosaur?
I got a dinosaur. And he's been tagged.
I got Reese cups. Chips Ahoy Reese's.
I've got brandy.
There you go, Brandon.
There you win.
Yeah, you win.
Yep.
But can you imagine what it would be like to be walking around with these things on the line?
Around, I'd be riding that.
I wouldn't be picking this shit up.
No, I'm not saying that.
But if you had one of these on a farmer's field, it would fertilize the entire field.
And the farmer.
Yeah, but it'd eat the farm and then fertilise the field.
No, he's vegetarian.
Oh,
I
they're
tell you,
veggies,
if he
aren't they?
likes you and he starts wagging his tail, be careful. He's got little spikes on the end of it there.
He's a vegetarian. But just think about what it was like. You know, they think now that man was actually around while the dinosaurs roamed.
I've been hearing that lately.
Like they found remains that are human remains that are over 1,000,000 years old now, when originally they thought people were only around for the past couple of 100,000 years.
Yeah, I've been hearing that lately.
We know there's footprints at 10,000 years.
Right? But just stop and think for a second, because a lot of this gets into the what ifs or whatnots. But if man was around for over 1,000,000 years, how much stuff do you think could have been developed from that 1,000,000 years to now if there was no interruption in the timeline? Because the interruption in the timeline, we can trace back what, 5 to 10,000 years,
Right.
Yeah.
and then everything gets kind of sketchy
Yeah.
because something happened.
Yeah, they can't. Yeah, they're not finding stuff. Yeah.
But if they're finding remains that are 1,000,000 years old, that's a lot of time missing.
Right.
And the remains are not primitive man; it's Homo sapien man. That
Yeah.
is
It's not
is us.
Neanderthal. Yeah.
It's not Neanderthal. It's us. It's Homo sapiens.
Mhm.
They found them with clothing and that on, leather clothing and stuff like this. All well preserved, fossilized, whatever. But you could tell it was a leather clothing and stuff.
It
that
was
they
the
were-
Martians, wasn't it? It was the Martians.
But this is the thing, is if you look at the Mayan long calendar,
Yeah.
the Mayan long calendar dates by hundreds of thousands of years, not by tens of thousands of years. So right now we're not even back into a golden age, which is supposed to have already come and gone a couple of times by the Mayan calendar.
Yeah.
So just wondering, it rattles, stuff like that rattles around in my head a bit as to,
Every now and then, yeah, I'm like, I wonder, like, how would I have fared, or what would it have been like to be around, super grateful for where we're at. I'm like, because we get to do this rough stuff as a hobby, as an interest, not, it's like, here I am in comfort.
Yeah, it is a little different when you have to use your skills to survive.
Yeah.
It definitely changes the way you look at them.
Oh, man.
And for me, I don't lose those skills because I know to come down to it, I'll still need them to survive again.
Right.
Yeah.
I tell you, yesterday I was doing a deadfall trap, and boy, the family, they were starting to see why, if you're counting on deadfall traps, why those people are really hungry. I was like, this. Of course, what made it harder was lighting. I found settings. I'm like, well, if I'm at this angle, I can set it up, but I can't record it because I got casting a shadow and all this other stuff. But anyway, I'm doing it, and it was a lot of work. I mean, it took try to get it just right, get all sensitive. And I'm like, dang, man, that's, you don't just watch it on TV and say, oh, or on YouTube, and, oh, I know how to do that. I'm like, really? Really? It's like, try it.
Yeah. Try setting your trigger for one of those.
Oh, man. I even dragged out some big old rocks out there just to make it more realistic yesterday, and that was interesting. But anyway, it was one of those. I'm glad I did it, and it had been a minute or two since I've done it. But I was like, "Dang, this is a skill that to get good at, you got to do it often." So, yeah, Tony, you ever done much like primitive trapping, or back in the day?
Yeah, I've ripped out roots out of the ground to make cordage for snare traps so I can catch rabbits. I've made fish traps. When you're out there, use every skill you got.
One of the biggest things I like about using a deadfall is you can catch anything with a deadfall. It depends on the size of the deadfall you make. You can set it for any size of an animal, right up to a moose. You could catch a moose in a deadfall if you put the time.
And don't underestimate the size of that moose, because the last thing I want to do is just piss him off.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
That'd be one heck of a deadfall, though. I tell you.
Yeah, it would. It'd be a hard one to set.
There was another channel that I watched, and this guy, he set up deadfalls to catch coyotes because they were a problem on his land, and they were eating all of the wild game that was there that he was hunting. Yeah. So he set up, I think he set up 4. Now he had his trapper's license and he had all of the proper things to do, so he was allowed to go and do it. And he set up 4 deadfalls, and I think he caught 2 coyotes in them.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
good.
so-
That's good turnout. What do they say? Normally 1 to 10. Something like you need to set out at least 8 to 10 traps just to give you a chance of catching something. Yeah.
The way he done them, it was different. The way he done them too, because he put them almost like a cage,
Yeah.
and then he had a heavy log, and then another log.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
So when the coyote went in to couldn't get in on the sides to get the bait. It had to go in
That's huge.
and
Yeah.
slap.
Yeah.
So
That's
it
how we
didn't
squish
have a
cars,
chance.
isn't it?
It can't back up. It can't back up as quick as it can dart. So when that log started to come down, he was done for.
So that's the big thing is like force them in a certain direction.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, even with snare trapping and stuff like that, you'll lay sticks around to limit the path they can take. So they have to take your line of path.
Make a funnel to your trap. And that's a big thing.
Well, that's the same thing with the fish traps. It works good if you lay out rocks to make the fish swim towards your trap a lot easier.
Yeah.
And you can make, fish traps out of sticks. You can make it out of rocks. There's lots of ways to corner a fish.
Yeah. So if you're interested in that, Bland County Survivor Man has been doing a series on trapping lately. So I'm gonna have to kind of go back over through that, and because he got some good material. It's like he's just grew up in the woods doing this stuff. I don't think he's quite as in the woods as you, Tony, but
well, I'm interested to see what we can come up with when we do our own little primitive trapping thing, or even not even so much complete primitive, but make trapping, make some traps, and what can you do, and
I mean, there's snare traps, there's live trapping, and like you say, you can use a kill trap, which if I was doing coyotes, I would be using a spike spring pole for a kill trap.
I got a couple of ideas, and there's one I made. There's one I made when I was young, and I don't know if I'd be able to do it again now. It was a bit complicated. You had to have like a full size bow, and it would actually shoot whatever crossed.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Kind of Indiana Jones kind of thing, right?
Yeah, sort of, but it worked. I had it set up, and I made it with some modern stuff. I used a fiberglass pole to make the bow.
Yeah.
And I had the fiberglass arrows in it. And when it fired, it fired.
Well, you think about how they did that with pressed oxygen, They would use a cylinder with a weight inside of it, and when you set off the weight, it would press the air into the cylinder, shooting out the darts, the arrows, all that stuff in a spread pattern.
Yeah.
And you didn't get out of those so easy. And that's, totally Indiana Jones style.
Yeah.
I never had the materials to do anything like that when I was out in the woods, but I could make kill traps, which was not near as useful as you would think. The snares were much better because if you snare something you don't want, pretty easy to let them go.
Right.
Depending on the snare.
Yeah.
Now I'm thinking about doing
once they're in it, they're done for.
Now, if we're doing that type of challenge, I might do a live trap. I saw somebody, they basically kind of make like a ladder frame for all 4 sides, and then just kind of bind it all up and camouflage it up. And I'm like, that might, if we want to have fun with that type of challenge, certainly we might want to. I mean, that might be that'd check off something on my to-do list.
That might be a good one for kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you could easily build one big enough to catch a kid.
Okay, now, so sometimes my funny little mind wants to go Gilligan's Island or something like that, where you got the net where you pull them up into a palm tree, or
that's
maybe
not a bad one either.
It's
or
funny
the mousetrap
you say
where
that.
a cage drops down around them.
It's funny you say that about the net going up.
Yeah.
I actually made, when we were young, we were bad when we were younger.
Oh, we were too.
And I made a spring snare to catch a person.
Hmm.
And I caught a person.
Awesome.
It didn't lift him completely off the ground, but his shoulders was resting on the ground and his legs was something.
Oh, really? That had a bit. You had to.
He was a little bigger than you expected, huh?
He was bigger than what I was only small, so I had to put a lot of work into getting this tree flex down to the point where I knew, okay, this is gonna yank somebody up in the air. And it did. I caught one of my friends, and they were so mad.
He was the local policeman.
No,
probably is now.
He was so mad.
All right, can we all get those little crash test dummies or mannequins and toss them on there? There they go.
The best part was when I went up to check it and let him out. Yeah. He was like, "I'm gonna kill you." I get out of here. So, well, I'm just gonna leave you there.
That's right.
And then he started thinking. I was like, "I can just walk away." You better not.
Right.
It was fun.
Oh man, yeah, that could be a fun one. I'm like, oh no, let's maybe next spring or something like that. Well, instead of like a catch and cook.
Spring snare for spring.
I like that. Oh my gosh, man! It's like, and the bigger it is it can you get your buddy, to be willing to go get caught into that? It's like, the person, somebody that catches a human being wins the prize that month. It's like, we're not doing the randomizer, you win. Or if you catch a moose or a dog or something like that, it's like you win, automatic.
Spring snare. Spring.
You get the T-shirt.
That's the thing. See, you got to make sure that it's set up in the way that it's not set up to catch and kill, because
right.
Yeah, it's got to be.
People think of spring snare. The snare is up this way. When the head goes in, it lifts you up.
Yeah.
We're talking a flat snare,
right?
Where when the foot goes in, it lifts you up. So whatever
gosh.
you catch is going to be alive.
Gosh.
It's a live capture spring snare.
Oh man, I'm just seeing the one hit leg dangling there. I'm gonna. Well, so we're at 5:58. So it's like you're gonna go past the 2 hours.
No, I'm gonna shut down. It's another 2 or 3 minutes. I'm gonna shut down.
Okay. I like spring snare, huh? A snare or spring?
Yeah. What's that? Spring snare for spring.
That's right.
I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget it.
That's funny. I like that. That'll be all right. That's something to really give us a whole year to really think about it.
Yeah.
You could do the fishing spring snare too. I mean,
yeah, I've seen that done. I've seen it done on Alone, but he set them up.
I've seen a couple. I also seen like one of the classes I went out where you can hang it over a tree. It was like the trip was a stick going across, and once you catch it, it's like it would kind of yank up. I'm trying to remember how it was. I wish I would have recorded it, but yeah, there are several different styles that you can do.
One of the biggest issues that I had when I was setting that big spring snare, was having something to hook onto that wasn't going to pull out of the ground.
Right.
Oh yeah.
That was my biggest.
I was wondering about that. That much spring in it. Yeah.
What I ended up doing was on another tree that had a thick root. I dug out.
Oh, really?
And I hooked into the thick root.
Oh, okay.
So I had my trigger was like the L-shaped.
Gotcha. Okay.
Hook. Right.
And this was tied. The string was tied onto it like this, and the hook was here. Yeah. And the hook went down and just niched underneath the root.
Okay.
So the you would have to uproot the entire tree to to pull it off.
Hey, did you see DJ's note? Did you just see DJ's? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. Yeah, shut down before 9:30. That's because he's on at 9:30.
Yeah.
No, DJ, we're going long.
That's it. We just changed your minds. We got things to talk about.
That just changed my mind.
Yeah.
No. I'm just going for the 2 hours. That's enough. We got 3 people watching now.
3. Yeah, us 3.
Right.
So there's me and the 3 of you guys are watching. Thanks, guys.
Hey. 2 hours. Hey, got to hang out with friends.
Yeah, if I set another spring like that, it's not going to be big enough, I don't think, to catch a person. Just because that was so much work, and I was way younger then.
You got a little bit more body weight. You might be able to pull down a really big tree there now.
Oh, I could, but it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Alrighty, thank you guys for stopping in. I appreciate you guys.
No worries.
So much for hanging out, Chris, Tony, Johnny.
Man, Al.
Nice to see you all.
Yeah, good.
No, for sure.
We got a big,
Chris. Good to visit with you, brother.
big rainstorm tomorrow, so I'm going out camping in a hammock. Must be mad.
Yeah, so he's going to sleep the whole time.
Sounds like me when I went on my 5-item challenge.
Yeah, I'm gonna be rocking around like I'll be rocking around like a chimpanzee's testicles tomorrow. Anyway, guys, see you later.
No, guys.
See you, brother. See ya.
Good night to everyone,
See you, mate.
and have a fantastic evening.